And welcome back to another edition of the Sand Shark Rewind, an early edition of the Rewind this afternoon, early evening. We're going a couple hours early today, fellas. Appreciate you guys joining on. So hopefully a couple of our regular listeners and regular watchers will catch the replay later on tonight. But I got to do some family stuff later. So want to make sure I get to spend some time with the family while all the teams are out and about. But how was your guys' weekend? How was everybody?
Had a good weekend. Yeah. Got to spend some time outside and, take advantage of that, but also was catching an eye on what was happening with USCB athletics. A couple of course, baseball and softball away from home, but, nice to step away after, being around the Hardyville for the last few weeks, which is awesome. I really enjoy, calling these games, heading out there, but it was, different to see them on the road and to see what they're doing away from their friendly confines, and some positive news from softball. A tough weekend for baseball, but still everything to play for as we go deeper into April. So, like Max, I was also able to catch a Savannah Ghost Pirates game on Saturday. Unfortunately, they every time we go, they seem to get crushed, and they lost to the Florida Everblades. But it's an amazing game day environment over there. And as we said obviously we're trying to focus on USCB athletics, but just an aside, if you haven't been to a Ghost Pirates game, only one left this season, but definitely next year, find a way to check that out.
Yeah, Brian Skylover does a great job over there running the game day operations, and he and I have got some plans in the works during the off season to get some Davey and some Finnegan stuff together. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully, there we go. There's some banquet work stuff getting done. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into it, guys. Let's start with softball. Positive weekend for them. Great to pick up a series win over a top 10 team in the NAIA in Georgia Gwinnett. Sierra Kinlaw picked up 2 more wins and was absolutely dominant as usual. And she's really dominated the Grizzlies during her 2 seasons in Bluffton.
I 100% agree. I think, she has been that key player for USCB all season long. So, I mean, I have loved watching her play, watching her pitch from the circle. It's been an absolute privilege to see how good she can be when she's on her A game. And she was on her A game again this weekend, against a very tough Georgia Gwinnett team. I mean, like you said, a top 10 NAIA team. So they're no joke, but to get that series win, that's huge. Yeah, I know it's not a conference series, but it builds that momentum as you head in towards the later stage of, your conference play.
But Kinlaw was dialed in. She threw 15 innings because I believe the second game went extras, or the third game rather, the finale. But yeah, just one earned run in those 15 innings of softball against a really good, always strong Georgia Gwinnett lineup. So that is certainly doing something there on the road. So major props to Sierra Kinlaw, who has been everything you want as an ace, as that first elite tier pitcher for your team. And it just doesn't, she rarely ever, makes mistakes. She rarely ever gives 3 passes. She walked 2 and walked 1, but I mean, just the mistakes that you see, obviously you leave a couple of the plate to take advantage, but that happens to everybody. But she, as I've said all season long, she really makes you earn as a hitter, and just does a great job commanding the plate and picking up the outs when she really needs to get them. So, I mean, she has been the leader of the pitching staff and really the team in general. And really, she was the difference in a tightly contested 3-game series in order to take the series win. So big shout out to Sierra Kinlaw from what she was able to do. And as Max said, I mean, this is obviously the games don't count in terms of the conference play, but the feeling that you get after winning a series, just to have that in your back pocket, the momentum of that is going to really spur this team as they get ready to head back home for senior weekend coming up on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, and as our producer just showed up, she's on a 3-game winning streak too. She's been And she's thrown complete games in her last 4 starts and gone deep in every game that she's pitched. Dating back to the Flagler game just about a little less than a month ago. So she's been that rock. She's been, consistently the one who's going to throw you those innings. And especially coming from the left side, that's been just you don't see lefty starters in softball very often.
No.
You get them sometimes, but she's really turned that corner, especially coming a midseason transfer last year. And I say midseason, it was prior to the season, but a mid-semester transfer. There you go. That's better. And she's really worked herself up and put her name already in the record books for USCB softball. The offense, that was the only thing that kind of stuck out. They hit the ball well. They got a lot of base runners, but never had that one big punch against the Grizzlies. But when you got someone on the rubber like Kinlaw, you don't really need it. 2 wins with a score of 3-2, and then that game 1 on Saturday, it looked ugly early as Georgia Gwinnett pushed across 4 runs in the first inning, but they came back and scored 6 runs in the third, or I think it was the third or the fourth, and really took that game and pushed Georgia Gwinnett to the edge. And that was something that we kind of mentioned on the lowdown a little bit, that they were that was rekindling a rivalry last year from the CAC tournament. And it was a 1-run game that ended where USCB could have been the CAC champions. So that would have been a cool little end to your time in the NAIA, but still got to go to an opening round. But they know that stadium pretty well, and that's been a consistent rivalry, I think, that will stay along until Georgia Gwinnett jumps up to D2 in the coming years.
Yeah, it's cool to see, because these two teams were fighting it out last year for a conference championship, and Sand Sharks came so close to battling back through the losers bracket. They met them again and pushed them to, I believe, that final game of the tournament, and then ended up losing. But just cool to see these, and good to get a series win over them. That's always doing something when you're able to take 2 out of 3 against this team. And as you mentioned, Georgia Gwinnett is a squad that you could see very soon up to the Division II ranks, and could really strengthen and rekindle. Well, still a rivalry, but really strengthen what we could see between the rivalry between these two squads. And I think it's going to grow, and it's just really cool to see how these programs evolve and move on up the ranks. And Gwinnett's been a powerhouse. I mean, they've always been a really good team at the high level. USCB has been right there. This is a team that won a Sun Conference tournament a few years back, and so two really strong programs, and really cool to see both of them excelling where they are. And Sand Sharks, of course, you expect this transition period to have some bumps in the road, but
absolutely.
Still love what they're doing, and how close they've been to picking up a couple of enormous wins. And it's going to be a fun couple of games against Columbus State. That's a really good Cougars team, and the Sand Sharks have proven they can hang right with the best. And obviously, it's going to start with Sierra Kinlaw, quality pitching, quality defense. I've said it before, but Devin Weller, she really makes all the difference out there at shortstop, to have that veteran over there, in a key position in the infield. So great to have her. Obviously, it's her senior weekend alongside Zanaya Hampleton. So she will be a senior alongside JC Coleman. So those 3, I mean, it's going to be awesome to see the final chapter here in Hardyville of their careers, because I've been able to, cover them throughout these past 4 years. It's been, my first full class I've covered here at USCB, which is really special and cool to see all 3 of them grow as players and people.
Yeah, they're a terrific trio. I hate that Zanaya hasn't been able to get out on the field due to injury this year. But Devin's been rock solid up the middle. JC, whether she's flipping in, to play DP or she's in there playing right field, she's got a gold glove caliber defense out there in right field. The entire outfield does, and Tamaya Whitlock in left and Darren Miller in center. So it's going to be a fun weekend, and the softball team got to enjoy a little bit of they got to see a come from behind victory. They spent last night over at Truist Park and
nice
comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a great time for them, and that was probably, got to enjoy the game after a series clinching win. I think that's probably good for them. So looking forward to seeing Sand Sharks back in Hardyville this weekend. Can't wait to there you go. Let's go Braves.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey,
Go
I'll take a sweep for the Bravos all day. It's been a good day down here in the Low Country. South Carolina just won the national championship in women's basketball.
Yeah.
Only the 10th undefeated season in NCAA women's basketball history.
So there's nobody does it better than Dawn Staley right now. She is incredible.
She's an animal, man.
Yep.
So it's great to see that. And that's our, South Carolina. We're a sister school. So congratulations to Dawn Staley and the Gamecocks. But let's move over to the baseball diamond. Rough weekend for Ted Faulkner's crew. The first game, a 9-run game. That one was kind of out there, kind of early, but game 2 and 3 were just showdowns. A slugfest in game 2. USCB came up short, lost 10-9, and then Brandon Martin, quality start. Just was, just one hit that brought across 2 runs, and and that's just tough to have happen right there. But he pitched 6 1/3, struck out 7. I mean, he was there.
Yeah.
He gave everything he wanted as a starter. And just unfortunate to see this team come up short in a game like that where he worked very, very deep into the contest. 6 2/3. You mentioned quality start. There's 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, really in top form throughout. And that 2-run homer by Chiswick in the 7th inning ends up being the only run scored in the ballgame. And so, and also, props to Tucker Dove for coming in and preventing, because there was a late rally that could have extended the lead there for Columbus State for the Cougars, but Tucker Dove held it in check after the 2-run ball game, and Trace Goforth, a little too much, complete game shutout, 4 hits, 13 strikeouts.
Yeah, he was dialing up, man. He was pitching great. But yeah, shout out to T Dove, man. An inning and a third of 2-hit ball, 2 strikeouts. I mean, that's great. And he threw, but Trace threw 115 pitches. You don't see that very often in the college ranks anymore.
Yeah, no.
No. We saw someone throw 99, right? At home. Was that a full? Was it 7 or 9? I think we saw somebody go the distance with like a 99 pitch game.
Yeah, that was
that
was against us.
Yeah.
Fanatics. But no, it's encouraging to see that. You got to I don't want to say it's a gimme series against Claflin. They're just, they haven't won a conference game this year. They didn't win last year. And the last time we played Claflin, we made a little bit of history. Cam Demigian threw the perfect game. So hopefully we can get something going Friday, pick up a big win, and then you got a doubleheader Saturday. So I look for USCB to take this series. Definitely take 2 out of 3, if not sweep it, and put themselves right up there. It's going to be a dogfight for that number 8 spot in the Peach Belt tournament. So that last series against Aiken is against our in-state rival, our sister rival is looking, it's starting to get highlighted a little bit thicker around there on the schedule.
Yeah, I mean, you look at where they're sitting in the standings right now. we checked it before we came onto the show. Right now, USCB is only sitting 2 games behind USC Aiken. So, they have a chance. They have a real chance. And I think that Claflin series will be extremely important for them. If they can find a way to get at least 2 out of the 3 wins against Claflin, USC Aiken's got North Georgia next week. That is not an easy team to play. We know we played them earlier this year, and it didn't grow great for us. So that's not an easy team to play in North Georgia. Could be the weekend that gives us a chance to go into that next weekend series against USC Aiken and have a chance of taking that final spot for the conference tournament. So yeah, like you said, that USC Aiken series, depending on how the Claflin series goes, could be a huge final weekend series.
So looking at both of these teams and who they have left, the Sand Sharks have Claflin away. Then they got Flagler at home for our home.
You got to think about that Flagler series too. You take
USC,
one there.
Yeah, you take one there, it'd be important. It'd be
and
big.
then Aiken has Augusta, North Georgia before the USCB series. And those are far from easy games. Both those. So
yeah,
I mean, the opportunity's there.
Yeah, and Georgia College is the big standout of the conference right now. They came in red hot. We thought we were going to have not really, I wouldn't say a cakewalk or anything like that, but I definitely think our momentum was up after we took 2 out of 3 from Georgia Southwestern, who still receiving votes in the regional poll, but 11-7 in conference. But yeah, I mean, Georgia College came in and they've really done a good job this season, and Lander right up there. But we took a game against Lander. Probably should have taken one against North Georgia as well. So you pick up one game right here and there, that's going to kind of help you. But that Flagler series is, you're looking a little bit more, hey, this might be something that we can look at, and you take one, we've got some magic at home, with some, we don't always want late inning walk-offs, but so they've got Augusta and North Georgia to wrap up there. So that's, again, similar, not an easy task for the Saints either. So it's still wide open, that number 8 spot. And so I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun one. Yeah. So we'll be keeping up with baseball this weekend in Orangeburg, but then also our men's track and field went up to Columbia to compete in the Gamecock Invitational. Only 3 guys went up. Cam Edwards, Jay King, and Michael Martello were the 3 who competed up there. And I mean, for a solid Division I track and field event, they held their own. So I'm looking forward to conference. They have one more meet before conference starts in a couple of weeks. And Cam Edwards finished 6th and 9th, 6.52 meters in the long jump, 13:45 in the triple jump. Jay King won his heat. I know that with a 2-minute. He was always trying to get that on that under 2-minute time in the 800. And then Michael Martello continuing to succeed down here after spending the first 2 years of his career at Coastal Carolina. 42.16 meter in the discus, 45.85 in the hammer throw, and 13.23 in the shot, or 2-1 in the shot. So, successful weekend, I think, for all of them. Yeah. Strong finishes in a very talented field. And then the whole team will be up in Orangeburg at South Carolina State this coming weekend.
Very
I think
nice.
we're all all the weekends are going up. We've got a lot of things. We've got our awards banquets are coming up.
We're in the home stretch for sure.
I can't believe it, guys. I can't believe this year's coming to a close. We got about 3 weeks left of regular season, and then hopefully some postseason play. So But yeah, short episode tonight, guys. But any final thoughts before we wrap up for the evening?
Yeah, I mean,
Wes,
really proud of that softball team for what they're able to do and get a win, not just one win, but a series win, take 2 out of 3 from an always very, very good Georgia Gwinnett team, a team that they beat them in the playoffs in that conference tournament a year ago. So, cool to get that revenge factor as you look towards the rest of the schedule. And, this is going to be a tough out, whoever faces them these final few weeks, and they can get a nice heater late. Maybe they'll be able to find themselves an opportunity to sneak in, but a lot of work to be done before then. And then for baseball, as we said, it's all right in front of you. And, it certainly would love to see more decisive wins. But I have a nice feeling for those dramatic walk-off victories. They've had, especially when Julian Galassi's up to the plate, he has been the man when it comes to those walk-off knocks. But, obviously Claflin, you really need to sweep that series if possible. That's a team that, certainly is under your level and a squad that you should be able to handle. So obviously far from a cakewalk, but by the way they've been playing, especially if they put up the same effort that they did this weekend, I think they'll have a great chance and they'll be fine in terms of that task. And then, if they get it done there, then you get some positive momentum and it shifts back home. And then you get the emotion of that senior weekend for a great chance to pick up some wins. And then you set yourself up for what could be the decisive finale against USC Aiken. So a lot of important, every game's important at this point on in the schedule for both baseball and softball. And now it's just a matter of where can you find those wins and look to climb the stage. And if you can sneak into the dance, you never know what can happen. So I'm pumped.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned how proud you are of the softball team this weekend. I'm proud of the baseball team. Yeah, I know that series didn't go the way they wanted it to go, but they put up a fight, and that's what I want to see out of USCB. Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that continue against Claflin, as well as going into that final weekend series against USC Aiken. I want to see that fight going because if they keep fighting like that, eventually they're going to start winning games. I think they have, a real solid chance of getting that final spot in the conference playoffs. So I'm excited to see how it goes against Claflin this next weekend because I think that is a huge series for them. So if they can continue to fight the way they did this weekend, I have no doubt in my mind they'll have a real solid shot at making the conference tournament.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dogfight the rest of the way. You got 9 games left in the conference season. And you hope to take away 3 this weekend at Claflin, and then you just play it by ear and play it one game at a time. Take one against Flagler at home. Hope you can take the series after that. I mean, obviously you're playing at home. You feel more comfortable. You have the home field advantage. So we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, softball, big weekend for them against Columbus State. Like Wes said, there's still a chance they can sneak in something and, somebody has an off weekend and we just turn it up and pull out a sweep. It's always possible. Never say never, especially with this squad.
Absolutely.
The offense might just come clicking right away. Everybody's still been, contributing up and down the lineup. It was Mackenzie Four and Chloe Turner who picked up the big hits in game 3. Chloe Turner with that 2-run homer in the 6th, and Mackenzie Four with the single in the 8th. So, really looking forward to this weekend with softball. And then, you never know. It's
yes, sir.
We're checking the standings and looking at it and seeing how everything's going to pan out, but you never know. So, really excited. But thank you guys. I know it's a short episode tonight, but got to take advantage of some time to spend with the family. So you guys go do the same. And we will see you guys this weekend in Hardyville. All right, guys. Well, make sure you keep them fins up, and we will see you next week on the Sand Shark Rewind.